it's scientifically possible to reduce the ongoing effects of climate change if the proper policies were undertaken, if governments could collectively work together to achieve this, if they could go far beyond what was agreed in Paris, then I think scientifically it's possible to halt CO2 emissions and then slowly reduce them. If that's done immediately and with an effort akin to reaching the moon, then we probably, as a species, the human race, probably can beat it. But are we there? Are we anywhere even near achieving that sort of objective in that way? And I certainly don't see it. Look at Europe in the last month. You're seeing temperatures that have never been reached in those months in Portugal, in Spain, and even in Sweden. Parts of Sweden have turned brown, for the first time ever. There's been forest fires in the northern part of Sweden, on the border of the Arctic, something which has never happened before. Almost all of the UK, which is traditionally green throughout the year, has turned brown because of the lack of rain, because of this excessive heat. And it's not just an accident. We're living through, this will be, without question, the hottest year ever on record. The temperatures keep going up, and our planet is incredibly resilient on the one hand, but it is incredibly fragile. And the ability of human beings to live on this planet is contingent upon the temperature being at just the right level. And any fluctuation by 2, 3, 4, 5 degrees can mean the difference between life and death. And that's, something that we really need to take seriously. What kind of future are we leaving our children? There's a lot of evidence that points to climate change having passed the so-called tipping point, whereby no matter what we do, it may have already been pushed to the outer limits of the capacity of the planet to manage it. And the only way that the planet can manage it is by reacting as nature does. Just last week, a new study came out that indicated that the likelihood of the entire Earth becoming what they called a hothouse, the hothouse effect, is far, far more likely than had been anticipated. Every single person is precious and irreplaceable. Every single person has a right to exist. There's no question about it. But viewed from a macro level, viewed collectively, 7.5 billion people is a lot of people, particularly when they're seen not just as citizens, but as consumers. And you're no longer seen simply as a citizen, as an active participant in building your society in such a way that everybody benefits. You're almost required to be a consumer in order to participate in your society. You have to buy things. You have to enter the cash economy. You have to consume. And nations' entire economies are contingent upon consumption. Ever more portions of the planet will no longer be habitable for human beings. They will have such high temperatures, routinely over 50 degrees. And we live on this planet that provides us with absolutely everything we need so easily, in a way, if we organized it properly, that could go on infinitely. And yet we choose political systems and economic systems in particular that make the entire planet uninhabitable. Earth is so fragile, and we treat it as this endless source of bounty and goods, but it's finite like everything else, and an economic system that is premised on perpetual growth in an ecological system that is inherently finite is bound to reach a point where things go haywire, and we're not that far from that.